I stand at the threshold of a new day, eyes open wide with anticipation, heart trembling with both hope and uncertainty. In that moment, I am reminded of a child who has not yet lost the innocent wonder of a world full of possibilities. There is an unwavering trust that grows whenever I recognize my smallness in the face of something infinitely greater. There is an openness that blossoms whenever I reach out with both hands and whisper, "Lord, here I am like a child. Show me the way." This plea, simple yet profound, captures the essence of surrender. It is an honest acknowledgement of my limitations and a bold proclamation of my faith. The words rise from deep within my soul, fueled by an inner longing for direction, for clarity, for a path that leads me to a place of meaning and peace. At the very core of this cry is a heart that is ready to learn, a spirit willing to be shaped and guided, and a deep desire for transformation that can only come from recognizing that I cannot do it alone. The urgency that stirs in my soul is rooted in the realization that without guidance, without a voice that calls me forward, I will remain adrift. There's a sense of expectancy, a sense that something bigger than myself is stirring in the unseen realms, waiting for me to open my heart and ears to receive the gentle invitation. Stepping into this posture of childlike wonder is not a step backward. It is not a return to immaturity or a forfeiture of all the lessons life has taught me thus far. Instead, it is a choice to remember that within me, there is an ever-present capacity for awe. I can choose to stand tall in the knowledge of what I have learned or accomplished, or I can choose to kneel, not out of weakness, but out of reverence. In that kneeling is a profound strength, a bold admission that this world is bigger than my understanding, that the one who holds it all is willing to guide me if only I surrender my pride. In that kneeling, there is a resounding statement. I will not walk this path blind. I will not let my assumptions steer me off course. Instead, I will welcome the unseen hand that reaches out to lead me through the twists and turns ahead. There's no shame in declaring I need direction. There's no shame in setting aside the frantic scramble for self-sufficiency. There is, however, a renewed sense of freedom in acknowledging that I am not meant to carry every burden or answer every question on my own. This sets the tone for a new exploration, one that begins with the powerful admission, I am ready and waiting. Lord, here I am like a child. Show me the way. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the mind is still clear, I feel a stirring deep within. That stirring is my heart's way of reminding me that I am not alone in this world. All around me, creation speaks of an intricate design, a pattern of purpose woven into every leaf, every breath, every sunrise. This realization anchors me, calming my fears and reminding me that there is a deliberate hand at work in the grand tapestry of existence. My cry is an invitation for that hand to move visibly in my life. No matter how far I have journeyed, no matter the obstacles I have faced, the possibility of guidance remains ever present. As a child leans in with expectancy, believing wholeheartedly that a loving parent is ready to provide, so too do I want to lean into the source of all wisdom, believing in the promise that there is a way for me. That way is not always clear. It might be revealed in steps, unfolding like petals of a flower, each stage of bloom revealing more beauty, more depth, and more details of the final shape. This trust, this willingness to take each step, is what being childlike truly means. It means acknowledging that I might not see the entire path at once, but choosing faith in the one who does. In this posture, my heart is open to discovering the many dimensions of what it means to ask, Lord, here I am like a child. Show me the way. One aspect of this discovery lies in understanding that guidance is not always spectacular or earth-shattering. Sometimes it arrives in the form of a quiet whisper that resonates with uncanny clarity in my conscience. Other times, it is reflected in the words of a friend, a passage in a book, or an unplanned moment that feels like a divine appointment. Guidance might look like finding peace in circumstances that once caused restlessness, or sensing a nudge to pivot in a direction I had never considered before. Remaining childlike means keeping my eyes, ears, and heart open to these gentle movements. A child is swift to recognize the voice of one they trust. Their trust is built over time, strengthened by consistency and love. In the same way, I begin to discern the voice of guidance when I nurture a relationship with the one who speaks. Prayer, contemplation, and reflective stillness become avenues through which I attune my inner ear. Like a child who instantly knows the reassuring tone of a parent, I learn to recognize when truth is spoken into my life. That recognition makes the path clearer. Moving forward in this discovery reveals a second dimension: humility. Children in their early years often speak with an unguarded honesty about their fears, their needs, and their dreams. They do not hesitate to admit when they do not know something. Instead, they eagerly ask why and how, confident that someone wiser can guide them. Embracing a childlike heart means shedding the layers of pride that block me from asking questions or admitting uncertainty. It means casting aside the fear of seeming weak or unprepared in the eyes of others. True humility is not self-deprecation. It is a sober awareness of both my strengths and my limitations, paired with a willingness to ask for help when I need it. In spiritual terms, it is the realization that my vision is partial and finite, whereas the divine perspective is whole and limitless. When I declare, Lord, here I am like a child, show me the way, I acknowledge that I do not hold all the answers, and that is perfectly all right. That humility opens the door to grace, allowing me to grow in wisdom and understanding. Another aspect of this journey is learning how to handle uncertainty. Life is filled with unknowns, from the smallest daily decision to the grandest choices that shape my future. Standing like a child before an open road can be daunting, yet the heart of a child sees each unknown as a realm of adventure rather than a void of intimidation. What if I approached every uncertainty with that same spirit of wonder, trusting that I will be guided step by step? There is a sweetness to the idea that I do not have to figure it all out at once. I can place one foot in front of the other, carefully, yet confidently, knowing that the path is unfolding before me. Each day brings new lessons, new opportunities to learn, and fresh signs that point to the next step. The path might not always be smooth. There might be hurdles and setbacks. However, there's a profound peace that comes from believing that every challenge has something to teach me, and that guidance is never far off. In this posture, even disappointment can become an invitation to grow, a chance to refine my character or find an alternative route. I may look back on what seemed like failures and realize that they were actually blessings that steered me toward a better way. There is a subtle transformation that occurs within me when I embrace this childlike posture. I begin to see life through a lens of hope, A child greets the world each morning full of questions, eager to discover what lies around every corner. They assume that each day carries the potential for joy, play, and learning. If I manage to reclaim even a fraction of that unguarded hope, I position myself to receive guidance in all things, whether significant or mundane. My prayers stop being mere rituals and become living conversations. My moments of silence stop being empty and become sacred stillness. My relationships stop being transactional and become spaces of mutual edification. All of these daily interactions become opportunities for growth and revelation. As I tap into this childlike trust, the world around me sparkles with possibility. Instead of dreading the unknown, I greet it with a kind of holy curiosity. Is there something new I can learn about myself today? Is there a way to help someone else? Is there a gentle whisper that suggests a shift in how I approach my routine tasks or relationships? The more I ask these questions, the more I sense that the path is always in motion, always drawing me into something deeper and richer than I ever imagined. Challenges will inevitably arise. Even children experience frustration, disappointment, and fear. A child's tears often flow freely, unfiltered by the constraints of an adult's pride. Yet, in their most vulnerable moments, a child lifts their arms, seeking to be held, consoled, and led by someone they trust. In moments of trial, I can do the same, lifting my arms in prayer or in quiet surrender. I admit that I do not have the strength to carry on alone. This level of vulnerability does not signal defeat. Rather, it's a powerful moment of connection, a time to recommit to the guidance I so deeply crave. There may be seasons in which I feel distant, as though my prayers are met with silence or the path is obscure. These are the times when faith is tested and refined. Even then, the posture of a child remains. My job is not to manufacture hope, but to hold on to the promise that I am not forsaken. Often it is precisely in these seasons that my spiritual muscles grow stronger, my perseverance takes shape, and I emerge with a more steadfast faith. All around me, I can look to the examples of those who have walked this journey. Tales of unwavering trust in the face of adversity fill the pages of spiritual histories. Likewise, if I sense a call to act, to move in a certain direction, or to relinquish something that hinders my growth, obedience becomes the practical outworking of my childlike posture. It is one thing to say, "Lord, here I am like a child. Show me the way." But it is another thing to walk the way once it is revealed. This is where the rubber meets the road. Often obedience requires letting go of comfort, familiarity, or personal ambitions. Yet if my faith is genuine, if my trust is real, then my yes to guidance becomes the bridge between receiving direction and experiencing fulfillment. That does not guarantee an easy journey. It does, however, ensure that I am aligned with a purpose far greater than my own. With each step of obedience, I discover deeper levels of spiritual maturity, as well as glimpses of the goodness that unfolds when I dare to follow the path illuminated before me. Though I speak at length about childlike faith, I do not mean to suggest that it solves every problem overnight. Life remains complex, and adversity does not magically disappear. However, this posture of trust weaves resilience into my spirit. When the storms of life batter me, I can return to that simple cry, "Lord, here I am like a child. Show me the way." And remember that I am not expected to navigate the tempest on my own. The presence of a guide does not necessarily diminish the size of the waves. but it gives me the confidence that I will not drown. Over time, this resilience grows, and I am less easily shaken by setbacks. The storms, paradoxically, become reminders of my need for something beyond myself. They become catalysts for deeper communion, for fervent prayer, and for renewed dependence on the guidance that has never left my side. In this sense, a childlike heart is not fragile, but surprisingly robust, capable of withstanding trials because it knows to whom it belongs. As I integrate these lessons into my life, I discover that the childlike way is not just a temporary phase. It is a lifelong posture of devotion. It does not mean I remain naive or uninformed. Rather, it means I keep alive a certain freshness of spirit, a capacity for awe, and a willingness to be taught. Whenever cynicism or bitterness knocks on the door of my heart, the childlike posture gently ushers them out, reminding me that there is something more life-giving than doubt, that something is the simple, enduring promise that I am known, I am loved, and I am guided. Each day invites me to make this choice anew, to approach the world with open hands and an open heart, to look up and say, "Lord, here I am like a child, show me the way." Concluding this journey of reflection, I realize that there is no finish line to what I have described. The cry for direction is a daily act of surrender, a continuous return to the humble posture of a child who trusts in the boundless wisdom of a loving guide. Each morning, I can renew that cry, allowing it to shape my perspective and soften my heart. I can remember that to be childlike is not to regress, but to progress toward authenticity and vulnerability. It is to carry with me a sense of wonder that keeps my faith dynamic and my hope alive. It is to remember that learning never ends, that guidance is a gift waiting to be received, and that love is the language that fuels every step. This way of being creates a rhythm in my life, one in which I pause to listen, reflect, and respond. As I walk in that rhythm, I find that burdens become more bearable, relationships become more nurturing, and daily experiences hold profound lessons. My life, shaped by grace, becomes a testimony to the power of simple trust. Even when I stumble, even when I stray, I can return to that sacred declaration, "Lord, here I am like a child, show me the way." In that return, there's always mercy, always a gentle hand, always a path leading onward. This is not wishful thinking or escapism. It is a deeply rooted belief that underpins how I engage with reality. It recognizes that while circumstances can be messy or overwhelming, there is a presence that transcends confusion. In that recognition lies a profound peace, an assurance that I am seen and valued. That assurance sustains me through life's peaks and valleys, and it shapes how I view the world. In choosing to be childlike, I choose to be open, to be teachable, and to be led into the unseen promises that beckon just beyond the horizon of my current understanding. The best journeys, after all, are the ones that stretch me, that call me beyond my comfort zone, and that lead me to discover depths of grace and hope I never thought possible. What a privilege it is to walk such a path, guided by the timeless whisper that answers my plea. What a privilege it is to stand in awe, hands lifted, heart uncluttered, and know that I am never alone. Even when I cannot see the full picture, I can trust the one who does.